Post one. Well, I'm not even sure how to put this because I don't think of myself as someone who picks fights with my family. I always try to be the one who supports people and finds solutions instead of throwing money at problems, but apparently that makes me the bad guy. So here's the situation. My sibling asked me for money again. This isn't the first time, it's become a pattern. They'll run into some emergency or get behind on bills, and then suddenly I'm the person they come to. Meanwhile, I work really hard to keep my own finances stable. I'm not rich, but I'm careful. I budget, I save, I make long-term plans. I don't feel like it's unreasonable to expect other adults to at least try to do the same. At dinner the other night, my sibling asked for a few $100s. I told them no, and that I thought in the long run it would be better if they found steady work instead of constantly scrambling for short-term relief. I even tried to frame it positively, like a job would give them stability, confidence, independence, all of that. I didn't think I was being cruel, but my sibling completely lost it. They rolled their eyes and basically accused me of acting superior, like I think I'm better than them just because I have a job. They said not everyone gets lucky like me, which feels unfair because my job isn't luck. I worked for it. Then I tried to steer it in a constructive direction. I said, "Look, I'm trying to be the good daughter and support my family. How about we sit down together, go over your expenses, and make a monthly budget? That way we can figure out a plan, and maybe I can help from there." Instead of appreciating that, my sibling snapped again. "Oh, so you want to control my whole life now? You're not my financial manager." It stung because I wasn't trying to control them. I was trying to offer something more sustainable than handing over cash. And of course, right on cue, my parents chimed in. My mom said I was being too intense, and that if I really wanted to help, I should just keep it simple. She said my sibling didn't need a spreadsheet, they just needed family to step up. My dad told me I didn't have to humiliate my sibling with speeches about being a bum, which wasn't what I said at all, but that's how they heard it. So now I feel like I've been made out to be the cruel one, when in reality I'm the only person even trying to offer real support. Everyone else is just enabling this cycle where my sibling never has to change, because someone always bails them out. I left dinner feeling awful, like I'd been ambushed for not handing over money on demand. I honestly don't know what else I could have done. So, am I the jerk for refusing to give my sibling money and suggesting we work on a budget instead? Update 1. So I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. After that dinner, my phone basically became unusable for 2 days straight. My sibling sent me a wall of texts about how I humiliated them in front of the family and how I've changed since getting my job. According to them, I've become cold, judgmental, and stingy, words I've never been accused of before. Then my mom called me. She started with the classic, "I'm not taking sides, but," and then proceeded to take their side entirely. She said things like, "You know your sibling struggles. Why can't you be compassionate? And do you really want to see your brother end up homeless just to prove a point?" I told her I didn't want him homeless. I wanted him stable. She accused me of playing savior and then hung up on me. My dad followed up the next day saying I was turning into one of those people who cares more about money than family. That was hard to hear because I do care about family. That's why I offered to help with budgeting in the first place. It's like no one can even consider that I might have a point, because it's easier to call me heartless than to admit my sibling might need to grow up. And here's the kicker. My sibling went on Facebook and made a vague post about some people in the family thinking they're better than everyone else, and how it's sad when blood doesn't matter anymore. Of course, half our extended relatives liked it, and one aunt even commented, "Some people just don't understand family values anymore." I haven't even spoken to that aunt in months, but somehow she thinks she knows the full story. Meanwhile, a couple cousins privately messaged me saying, "We get it, he's been mooching for years." But none of them said it publicly, of course. They don't want to get dragged into the drama. So now I feel like the villain of the family. My sibling has made this a morality issue instead of a financial one, and my parents are going along with it. I can't believe that trying to offer a solution has gotten me painted as the selfish one. The irony? Just yesterday, my sibling posted a picture of new sneakers online. Brand new, expensive, trendy sneakers. but apparently they're too broke to pay rent and needed me to rescue them? I didn't even bother commenting because I already know what the excuse will be. At this point, I'm honestly considering going low contact for a while just to clear my head. But of course, if I do that, I'll be accused of abandoning my family. Update 2. It's like the whole extended family decided to pick this week to weigh in. I've had guilt trips coming at me from every direction. One aunt actually called me to say, "Do you want to ruin your brother's future? Do you want him to end up homeless, addicted, or worse?" I told her it's not my responsibility to prevent that, especially when he's refusing every real solution, but she just talked over me. Another relative posted something about young people forgetting family loyalty, which of course got likes and comments from the usual suspects. My sibling is eating it up, acting like some kind of martyr. Meanwhile, the same cousins who messaged me privately to say they understood still won't speak up in public. And while all this noise is happening, my sibling has been flaunting expensive new sneakers and takeout meals online. It's like they're trying to prove my point for me, but no one wants to see it. It's easier for everyone to just paint me as the cruel one. I'm not exaggerating when I say I feel like I'm living in a parallel universe where logic doesn't matter and perception is everything. Update 3. So, things escalated. I was home the other night when there was a knock on my door, and who do I find standing there but my sibling and his pregnant girlfriend, with duffel bags at their feet. She was visibly upset, saying her parents had kicked them out, that they had nowhere else to go, and that she couldn't believe her own family would treat her that way. My sibling chimed in right after, saying they'd just crash with me for a bit until the baby comes, and I'd hardly noticed them. Right as I was processing all of this, my phone started buzzing. It was my mom. And of course, the second I picked up, she launched into a whole speech about how family pulls together in times of need, and how I had the space, and how I would feel proud for helping if I just opened my heart. I could feel every guilt button that's been installed in me since childhood lighting up like a Christmas tree. So I gave in. I told them they could stay, but only for 2 weeks max. I also said they needed to get jobs and make a plan to move out. I thought I was being firm, setting clear boundaries, showing I was compassionate but not a pushover. Well, guess how that went. The second I said yes, they were already dragging their duffel bags inside, practically tripping over each other to unpack. My sibling muttered, 2 weeks, yeah, sure, whatever, in that distracted tone he uses when he has no intention of listening. His girlfriend plopped down on my couch, let out a big sigh, and told me I had saved 3 lives tonight. Meanwhile, my mom was still on speakerphone, humming in satisfaction like she had orchestrated the whole thing. I wish I could say they were grateful house guests, but it hasn't even been a week, and my kitchen looks like a bomb went off. They've rearranged my fridge, claimed the comfiest blankets, and talk about our place like they already live here full-time. My sibling spends most of the day gaming, and his girlfriend naps constantly, which I get. Pregnancy is exhausting. But I haven't seen a single job application go out. And now, my mom is hinting that 2 weeks might not be realistic with a baby on the way, which makes me feel like I've been duped. Everyone keeps acting like this is temporary, but my gut is screaming that I just opened the door to something much, much bigger. Update 4. I don't even know how to explain the last week without sounding like I've completely lost control of my own home. The 2 weeks max agreement I set already feels like a joke. No one but me seems to think that deadline exists. My sibling and his girlfriend have settled in like permanent tenants. The duffel bags are unpacked. Their stuff is spread across my living room and bathroom. And somehow I can't find half of my own things anymore. They eat whatever they want from my fridge. They run the laundry like it's theirs. And when I tried to ask them to clean up, my sibling literally said, "Relax, we're family. Stop acting like a landlord." And now, the real pressure campaign has started. My mom called me again, her voice all sweet and measured, saying things like, "Honey, 2 weeks was a nice thought, but you know babies don't run on schedules. It would be cruel to kick them out before the baby is here." Then she added, "And even after the baby comes, they'll need time to adjust, recover, get steady work. Don't you want your niece or nephew to have a safe home?" My dad weighed in too, less sweet, more blunt. He told me flat out, You're not heartless, are you? You're not really going to put a pregnant woman on the street? He made it sound like I'd be personally responsible for harming the baby if I held to my boundary. It's maddening. Because I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't get them pregnant. I didn't cause their financial mess. And I didn't tell her parents to kick them out. I said yes out of compassion. But now I'm being made into the villain for even thinking of saying no. The worst part? My sibling is already talking like it's permanent. I overheard him tell a friend on the phone, "Yeah, we're good now. We've got a place. My sister's got it handled. Like I'm just their built-in solution forever." I'm starting to realize there's no way this ends without a blow-up. Either I let them stay and lose my own life, or I draw a line and get painted as the family monster. There's no middle ground anymore. Update 5, and I think I finally hit my breaking point. My mom insisted I come to a family gathering this weekend, saying it would be low-key. I should have known better. The second I walked in, I realized it was a setup. My sibling and his pregnant girlfriend were seated front and center, holding hands like it was some big performance. A few aunts and cousins were there too, clearly tipped off about what was coming. My mom literally clapped her hands to get everyone's attention and announced, "We all know why we're here. We need to talk about the baby's future." 2 weeks was never realistic. My daughter is going to open her home and her heart, because that's what good family does. Then my dad jumped in, saying this was bigger than me, and that I had no right to withhold stability from an innocent child. My sibling leaned back in his chair, smug as anything, and said, "You've got the space, you've got the money. Everyone else sees what's obvious. You're not going to throw us out, not with the baby." His girlfriend started crying on cue, clutching her belly and whispering about wanting her child to be born in a loving home. The whole room just turned to me, waiting for me to say the magic words that I'd let them stay indefinitely. And something in me snapped. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I didn't cry. I just stood up, turned around, and walked out. My mom was yelling after me, my dad was calling me selfish, my sibling was sneering, and the girlfriend was sobbing about how I was dooming her baby. But I didn't look back. I drove home as fast as I could, went straight to my front door, and locked it from the inside. I made sure every window and back door was locked too. My hands were shaking the whole time, but I knew if I hesitated, they'd show up with their bags and force their way back in. Do I feel cruel? Yes. Do I feel guilty? Absolutely. But I also feel like it was the only way to reclaim my life before it disappeared completely. Now my phone is blowing up with texts and voicemails. My mom saying she's disappointed beyond words. My dad saying I've turned my back on family. My sibling calling me heartless. And my aunts piling on about how I'll regret this when the baby is born. A couple cousins texted me privately saying they understood why I did it, but none of them will say it out loud. I don't know what happens next. But I do know that if I hadn't left when I did, I would have been steamrolled into giving up my entire future. Final update. It's been about 8 months since the whole mess with my sibling and his pregnant girlfriend came to a head. I've gone low contact with most of my family in that time. And while it hasn't been easy, I can honestly say my life is calmer. The 2-week limit I set never really mattered because, after that family ambush where I walked out and locked up my house, I never let them back in. They ended up bouncing around between a couple of other relatives before finally moving in with my parents full-time. My mom acts like that was always the plan, but I know she's resentful because now, the reality of supporting them has landed squarely on her shoulders. The baby was born a few months ago. My sibling posts constantly about being a proud parent, but from what I've heard, he's still not working steadily, and my parents are footing most of the bills. I haven't met the baby, and to be honest, I don't think I will anytime soon. Every invitation I get from my parents comes with strings attached, like, "Maybe now you'll see why you should have helped more." I'm not walking back into that trap. Do I feel sad sometimes? Yes. It hurts that standing up for myself cost me closeness with my family, at least on the surface. But I know deep down that if I had caved, I'd still be stuck in a house full of chaos, raising a baby that isn't mine, with no end in sight. I've learned the hard way that sometimes the only way to protect your future is to accept being painted as the villain in someone else's story. And if that's the role my family wants to assign me, fine, I'll live with that. Because I'm finally living my own life on my own terms.